Hello losers, this is Kit coming to you. I am going to be doing Hebbie Dobby's dressing. P2 friendly if you can tolerate MCT oil. Remember, this is off protocol, okay? But if you can tolerate MCT oil, you should be good to do this. Now I'm going to have Dale zoom into here to the container that I'm going to be making this in. And maybe as I do this, he will pan on the products that I am adding. And I will post this recipe. You are going to put 1 cup of MCT oil into a container for blending, something that fits your stick blender. It doesn't have to be, you know, perfect fit, but your stick blender has to fit in there. And then you're going to add 2/3 of a cup of apple cider vinegar. Now I like to use Bragg's, but you can use whatever apple cider vinegar you want. And you put that in there. And you put in Truvia, 5 teaspoons of whatever sweetener you like. 5 teaspoons or 5 packets, whichever you prefer, whichever you have on hand. And you just dump that in there. And you take your stick blender, put it in there, and you just give it a good blending. Okay? And then you're going to add mustard. I add mustard powder. And that is 2 tablespoons of mustard powder. And I also added some Tony Chachers, or as Ms. HCG girl says, Tony Chacheries. So I think both ways are correct.
Hold the damn thing still for a minute. Hang on. Here.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
1/4 teaspoon of that. And then you can also add aioli garlic. That's what Hebbie Dobby likes, but I didn't have any of that, so I will be adding garlic at the end. But you blend this. And it gets a little bit thick. Probably not quite as thick as a ranch dressing. So what Hebbie Dobby likes to add is some xanthan gum. And here we're honoring the Oregon xanthan gum. This is Red Mill, and that's from Oregon. So I found this at Whole Paycheck. And it's only 1/4. I put 1/4 of a teaspoon, put 1/8 to 1/4, and this is a thickener. So this is going to thicken this up, and it'll be the last thing that you'll blend with the stick blender. Like really thick mayonnaise. Now when you open this package, be very careful. She gives you the advice, if you get it on anything, you go to wipe it up, it solidifies. So be very careful once you open it, because it'll come out in a fine mist and get all over everything. So be very careful with that. Now I'm going to have Dale turn this off so that I can get the stick blender out, and then we'll add some more spices. Alright, everybody ready? Now at this point you can see how thick it is. Pretty thick, huh? You can add whatever spices you'd like in there. I mean, I'm going to look for some chipotle spice to put in with that. I'm also going to try and do some ranch. I'm going to maybe put a little bit of buttermilk powder in there and play around with that. Once I get that recipe down, I'll vlog that too. I don't know whether I'll use the mayo or this. But anyway, what I did for the dressing that I did for Georgia Peach today that she liked so much, I added this Bragg's herbs sprinkle, And again, I don't have a teaspoon or anything like that, but I just sprinkle in, gosh, do it to taste, but it's probably 2 teaspoons I put in there of that. Probably 2 teaspoons. And then I have garlic powder. Now last time I had minced garlic in a jar, and I used that. It was in water, not oil. But I'm out of that, so I'm going to use garlic powder. Like I said, you can use whatever you want in here. You can use dill, you can use, you know, any kind of seasonings that you really like. So I'm just going to put some garlic in here. And now at this point, you're not going to want to use your stick blender because, you know, you don't want to, it's not going to get, you don't want it to be too thick. So then you just blend it up with a wooden spoon or whatever you want to use. Guys, this is so easy. Really, a stick blender makes it so much easier for you. Probably could do it in your magic bullet, but this I really like. Now, what you're going to want to do with this is put it into a spoonable container, like a jar or a mason jar or something like that, so you can spoon it out. Because as you see, you zooming in?
Yeah.
As you see, you're not going to be able to pour this. You're going to have to scoop it out. But OMG, it's so good. It's so good. And it doesn't have any eggs in it. So you can take this with you to a restaurant. That's what I did today. I made the mistake of putting it in a bottle like this to take with me, but you can't pour it. So you have to put a fork in it or a knife in it and make it come out. So I would put it in something spoonable, just a little container, so you can spoon it out. And you can play with the proportions if you want less vinegar, use less vinegar, you know, different spices, that sort of thing. But ooh, yum. I think I'm just even going to store it right in this container. So that's all I have. It's very simple. You can add more sweetener if you want it sweeter. You could even chop up some little, you know, pickles and put it in there if you want. Not too many. Be careful of the salt. You can control the salt in this. I didn't put any salt and pepper in it this time because it's got the Tony Chachere's in it. You can add more Tony Chachere's. You could add Frank's hot sauce. You could add whatever you want. So enjoy P3 friendly dressing you can take with you to a restaurant. Thanks, Hebbie. You're the best.